Hello, you sentient ball of stardust. My name is Casey Davis. I'm a therapist, and I'm an author of the book How to Keep House While Drowning, where I talk about ways to make it a little bit easier to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, stressed, have mental health issues, physical health issues, or maybe you're just in a hard season of life. Maybe you're looking for a place that you can come and listen to some practical advice. This is a podcast for all of the self-help rejects. We're going to talk about skills for survival and self-kindness. And I'm going to leave the pop psychology at the door. I promise not to tell you to meditate or to journal. We're just going to give you some really insightful conversations with hopefully some practical advice. So I don't believe you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't want you to just try harder, and I don't believe that laziness exists. So join me over on Struggle Care, where we can find compassionate solutions that help us function a little bit better.
New on Curiosity Stream.
I'm James Burke. I'm going to take you on a journey through time.
James Burke's visionary series returns, reimagined for our time.
Now, this is all uncharted territory.
The Washington Post hails Burke as one of the most intriguing minds in the Western world. The New York Times raves he careens from one great moment in history to another.
Where do we want to go from here?
Experience all new connections.
So what's the next connection?
With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Hi guys, it's me, Elena Grace, and
me, Adam.
me, Adam, coming at ya with another episode of I've Been Thinking. Today, in kind of celebration of in celebration of our 2-year dating anniversary, we are going to be talking about what we've learned about relationships in the past, but also specifically within this relationship. So, really excited about that. We've got some listener sent in questions that we have to answer for you guys. So, Adam, do you have anything to say before we start? Please lean closer to the microphone so you can be heard.
I do not.
Okay, well, let's get started. Sound good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Our first question is, what is something that we have learned from moving in together?
I used to think for a long time that I was messy.
Oh my gosh.
But now I've learned that I'm actually relatively clean.
That was rude.
Good fun.
I have learned, I think, that just how, even though we're really similar people, I've learned how different we are too, and how, like, you expect something to be done when you say, hey, can you do this? And I just want it to be done in my own time.
Well, I don't need immediate action. However, I know with you, if you just sit down and you'll forget.
Oh, so, that's true. I am forgetful. But I guess it's like more than that. It's kind of taught me like about people a little bit. Because my parents always got really frustrated because I've always been this way. And my parents always would get frustrated. Well, my mom, I guess, specifically.
As if it validates their feelings.
Yeah. So I guess it's just taught me a little something. A little something.
And maybe it's just not them. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe. What is the number one thing you hate about living with me?
Probably cleaning up after you all the time.
I mean, you don't have to.
That might be a recurring theme in this, but...
I was gonna say.
Yeah, your refusal to adapt to putting things back where you found them.
Ugh.
Yeah. So after you cook, everything's left out.
No. I've gotten so much better. I have gotten so much better about cooking and cleaning while I cook. Because Allison has been training me in that for like years. Mm-hmm. And so now that I'm living with you instead of Allison, I'm getting even better.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Stop trying to look at the questions.
I can't read your handwriting.
I know you can't. My number one thing I hate about living with you is how much you bitch at me. Because, like...
I do it in a nice way, though.
Mostly. But I'm not disgusting. I'm not, like... I'm very sanitary.
I don't know, some things you've done have been pretty gross.
Like what?
I don't think you want people to know this about you. Proceed.
You do really gross stuff. I'm not unsanitary. That's the thing. I am very dedicated to not having germs in this house. But if things are a little messy, like, that's fine. I'm a creative. I'm an artist. Things are going to be messy.
I'm sure there have been creative and artistic people that are very neat and proper.
Oh, I'm sure there are. But would you love me as much as if I weren't a mess?
Maybe more.
Oh. Mm-hmm. But then I wouldn't be me. Exactly? Is that what you were going to say?
No.
I saw the twitch. Yeah, but you bitch at me a lot about, like, cleaning or... Elena, put this stuff up. Elena, take this to the garage. I told you to do that 3 days ago. Elena, blah, 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 blah. I'm always in trouble. What is the number one thing you love about living with me? This is news to me, guys. Whatever he's gonna say.
Shut up. I say good things all the time. We always get to hang out.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah. I mean, like, yes, at times I do get tired of you and I want to be alone and have my own time. Yeah, like, I am my own person.
Like earlier when I walked in the bedroom and you told me I was ruining your vibe.
Yeah, because you come in, I'm just chilling, and you start poking me and you start asking me all these questions. And yeah, so, like, if I want to be by myself and then you come in here with this annoying attitude... Sure.
I only had
sure, that's going to bother things.
I only had an attitude because you were ignoring me. And I told you that in the moment. My number one thing that I love about living with you is also that we get to spend so much time together. But I think that's also something I hate about living with you because... because even though we get to spend all this time together, which I love, like, I crave that... But I feel like we don't appreciate it as much anymore now that we live together. Because before, when we were like an hour apart, we were always like, oh my gosh, I miss you so bad. I can't wait to see you. And then Friday...
Because I saw you like 3 days a week.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Then Friday night, we saw each other and we were like, we've missed each other so much. I don't want the hype to be over.
Honeymoon phase gone.
No.
Now we take it for granted.
For granted.
For granted.
What has been... I can guess what you're going to say. What has been one of the most difficult things about adjusting to moving in together?
I guess being nice to you all the time. I know that might sound like really bad, but... There's times where you bother me a lot, and it's hard to be nice. But it takes a lot to be nice to someone that's being mean to you.
I'm not mean.
Why? You might not be intentionally mean. But
I don't know what to say to that.
Well, just a slap on the face.
It is a slap in the face.
You can't really see much to it.
I think that... one of my things has been getting used to your attitude like all the time, because we have very different like ways of going about life. And so like
Yeah, I mean, mine's logical and well thought out, and you're more like on a whim type of person.
well, yeah, and like that
I wasn't meant to be rude.
I was about to say it was a little bit of a backhanded compliment, but I know it wasn't meant to be. But like you're just very straightforward and blunt and logical. Bleh.
Bleh.
And,
Thinking about things before doing them. How dare I?
and I am very like on a whim, spontaneous. Not that you're not spontaneous, but
I don't think I am.
you can be.
Can be, but
Like when-
largely no.
Yeah, largely no. But like when you scare me, that's kind of spontaneous.
That's the whole point of it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it is. I'm just saying, like that's spontaneity. So there you go. But yeah, so just like getting used to each other in that way, and then like I said, you're blunt and straightforward and kind of monotone, but not really monotone. But and then I'm very like animated and try to be very friendly as much as possible and take everything to heart. So when you sound like when your tone sounds like you've got an attitude, it like hurts my feelings, and then we have to deal with that. That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't recognize that there is anything wrong with my tone.
I don't know.
I think
Everybody thinks you sound
That's
rude.
not true.
It is true.
It's just my voice.
It's your
You just need to
voice.
accept it for how it is.
It's the fact that you were raised on the Mason-Dixon line, so you have no concept of
That means nothing.
You have no concept of like hospitality to the general public.
So we're a couple hours north of you, and you think we're just rude people from the north?
You are.
You know, my family is nice, and
Your
telling them you're
No,
disrespecting them.
your family is the best, but like you can't deny that sometimes you come off as rude.
Maybe
Oh my gosh.
Maybe you just think the world revolves around you, and any slight that could be taken as an insult, you're like, this is about me, I know it. And then you think I'm being rude, when I'm just being nice.
That's debatable. I don't know.
It's a communication barrier, maybe.
It is. We do have a big communication barrier, and that's been one of the biggest things in our relationship is overcoming our different styles of communication and our different needs in communication.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a robot, so I feel
You're
that
not?
you are blind to nonverbal communication.
I'm not.
Because regardless of how something is said with tone and inflection, my body language will tell you.
Language.
You know, people misspeak sometimes. You don't
I
have to-
know,
you don't have
but
to point it out.
I
right?
liked it.
It's just that all the other non-verbal cues that I'm giving you should tell you the truth, not just my tone.
Yeah,
So
but
if my tone's not perfect, there's just a all up and down huge problem with what I said.
but tone is super important.
It is, but it's not all of it.
It's a lot of it, I feel.
It's 20%.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not smiling at you and saying you suck like a crazy person. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. Oh no. That's something to think on. Your coffee good?
It's very good. I made it.
I know you made it. Okay, so before we move on from moving in together, do you have a piece of advice you would give to somebody who's thinking about moving in with their significant other?
Yeah, so I found this out recently is before you move in, you want to set the bar low as far as expectations, because I was told recently that I screwed up by setting the bar high, and now I'm underperforming in the current state. So,
I did tell him that. I told him that he had stopped courting me And he was like, well, when we first started dating, I have to be extra nice to you so you like me. And I was like,
Now that I gotcha.
it's like, you can't stop.
I didn't stop per se. You just, I guess it was like a fairy tale land that you were living in.
It
And
was.
then,
It was wonderful.
Bam! This is reality, and you have to. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is a big spike on the computer. Yeah, that takes a lot of energy, and people aren't like 100% like that. Plus, like, if I'm not around you all the time, like when we lived far apart, I couldn't see you every day, so.
You saved up all your nice energy. Well, even when you lived 30 minutes away and we saw each other like a few times a week, you were super nice to me.
That was perfect. We should go back to No, but it's different. It's a different dynamic.
It is a different dynamic because we're not just dating anymore. We're roommates.
Plus, I'm not saying it happened, but at that rate of being able to see someone, it's very easy to portray someone differently than you truly are when you move in together. So that might be something to look into for some people. Not I, though, because I am me.
Me, Adam.
Me, Adam.
That is good advice, honestly. The whole make sure that you know who a person is before you move in with them. Even though one of the crime junkie life rules is you never truly know anybody ever. So sometimes I still get paranoid that you're gonna kill me in my sleep.
You can't trust anyone.
You can't trust anyone. I'm glad you understand. But, it happens. I might kill you in your sleep, so who knows?
Well, just like James Mattis told me once in person.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Mad Dog spoke to you in person.
Yeah, maybe it was a vision. I don't know.
Probably.
Apparition.
An apparition.
You always
Astral
want to figure out how to
projection.
kill someone in the room that you're in.
That's fair.
Yeah, I know I butchered that completely, but you know the gist of the information's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you always got to have an exit strategy.
Yeah, exit strategy, know where the exits are, where you're facing it.
Know how to kill the person. Yeah.
that you're meeting with.
I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Yeah. Although I'd be impressed. I'd like to see that man move.
I bet that man
quickly.
can move.
I don't know. He looks frail now.
Adam, no. That man, no.
He fights with words now. Not
He does fight with words. The
mine.
pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
Shakespeare said that.
That'd be funny if he died by a sword.
Adam, that wouldn't be funny. Don't
That'd be
say
really
that. No.
How would that not be funny?
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Well, yeah, you're more likely.
That's from the Bible.
Yeah. Well, you're more likely to die in something like that. So.
No.
All right.
My piece of advice before we
Oh yeah,
roll on.
you gotta say things too, yeah.
My piece of advice is, and this was a piece of advice that was given to me, and we have not been very good at it.
Who?
My friend Caroline, she gave me this advice, and because she and her boyfriend live together, and she said, make sure that you prioritize like your alone time, but also make sure that you prioritize having like a date night every week. And I remember I wanted to do that and we never did it.
Like an outing?
It doesn't have to be an outing. It can just be like a date.
I think
in the house.
We have that. We just don't establish it as
No,
like, hey,
Adam,
this is happening
no.
right now.
Eating breakfast and watching Chilling Adventures of Sabrina every morning isn't a date.
I feel like it's a date. I have a great time.
I mean, I have a great time also, but I don't feel like it's a date.
What do you want? Flowers?
Yeah.
Candles?
Yeah, I want flowers.
Well,
Will you get me flowers for Valentine's Day?
most likely.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited now.
Wow. A holiday.
That's all it takes. Yeah, but I just think, because like we do a pretty good job of prioritizing like our alone time. Like you have your time where you play games with your friends, and I have my time where I like take a long bath and take my time doing skincare in the bathroom or whatever, or I like sit in the living room and draw or paint or whatever while you're playing your games. Like,
That's all I do, apparently.
well, that's your main alone time.
I am hanging out with my friends.
I know you are.
That is my date time for them.
I know that you're hanging out with your friends. I am a big proponent of that. I'm a big fan of it.
Gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's a weird noise. It was a coffee cup. It sounded weird though. Okay, so next. How do we approach disagreements? And like what kind...
With loud noises.
And throwing dog
disagreement.
clothes.
So, majority of the time, I am very calm, cool, collective, and speaking as we are now. And I am more often than not met with an overwhelming force of yelling and
Oh my gosh, shut up. Don't tell people
frantic
that.
arms signals.
Don't tell people that. So rude.
No, but she is more animated and excited during those times than I will be. Because I try to bring us down to like a level playing field where we can just have a discussion. And I've tried to not say tame or calm her down because those words don't work well with her. It's just try to... I've offered to give us space before...
Yeah.
But it's not always works because Elena likes to solve things in the moment and not wait.
I do.
And not let the fire die down a little bit before.
Yeah, that we have different conflict resolution styles.
I'm okay with waiting like a couple hours.
I mean, I'm okay with waiting sometimes too, but also sometimes I want the apology immediately.
Yeah.
No, we do. Like I said, we have different communication styles, which has been really hard for us. And we have different conflict resolution styles, which has been hard. Yeah. And most of the time, I would say that I'm the more animated and I'm the more likely to be loud because I've got that temper from friggin' both my parents where they're hurricanes.
Which you talk about this, but I've never seen them even get remotely mad.
Oh, my God.
Which is good because I guess it's nice to not experience.
My mom threw a water bottle at my dad one time and she thought it was an empty water bottle. She'll get really upset that I told this story on here. But she thought she was just like tossing an empty water bottle at him just to be like, nah, I'm mad at you.
She can't tell the difference.
And well,
it's quite considerable.
It is, but she did it really quickly. And so by the time she had already chucked it out of her hand, she realized that it was like a full water bottle. And
it's why you should throw things at people.
Yeah, I learned that from Karen.
I think the last thing I threw at someone ended up not being what I thought I was throwing as well.
Yeah.
It was a snowball.
But it was ice?
No, it was gravel.
Oh, no!
I scooped up gravel in the middle of it. And I threw it at my buddy.
Woohoo!
His name's Nate. He was
I
one
don't
of my
know
internships,
him. Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, and he's like, you just threw gravel in my face. And I told him to stop whining. We were all drunk.
Yeah.
And I felt very bad.
Oh, yeah.
But we're still good friends.
Oh, yeah, there you go, baby. Mm-hmm. I threw I think I threw it at one of my cousins, a snowball one time. And I guess I like made it. And then I held on to it for a few minutes or something. Anyway, it became ice.
Yeah.
And then I chucked it at him and I made his nose bleed because I hit him in the face.
Yeah. Well, I will say, since we're on this tangent, the perfect snowball is very hard to acquire because you either compact it too much and it turns into an ice ball and then you're hurting your
Exactly what I did.
Siblings, that's probably what your intention is.
Probably. I think that's what I wanted to do.
Or you do too soft and it
doesn't make an impact really.
Yeah.
And it just like falls apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to have that wet snow. That's what's important.
Intense ice.
But it sticks together.
All right. Told you, happy medium, hard to get.
It is. It is hard to get. Okay, back to disagreements. fights.
Oh, I don't know how we got on that one. Go ahead. Oh, your mother.
My mother throwing things. But that has been a really big thing for us to overcome, I think, is our different styles. And I think that we've done a really good job of growing through that. And we're still working on it, but we're like in a much better place than we used to be. I don't know why I'm tearing up. I guess I'm thinking about our fights that we've had in the past that have not gone as well.
I think of it as some advice I got is if you ever feel angry at like a coworker or about a project, don't write an angry email. And if you do, just don't send it. That way you just express your thoughts. And then like chill out for a little bit and then write something that's a little better worded and less heated.
Yeah.
So that's why the whole cool down thing is my preferred technique.
That's fair.
Been adopted, but
well, no, we do cool down sometimes. We do that sometimes, and I want to defend myself and say that I am not always the heated one. Sometimes you get heated, and I'm the one trying to make things cool and calm, and I'm like, Adam, calm down. I'm trying to talk to you, and you're like, meh.
I'll be honest. When you do say that stuff, I recognize it, and I do calm down. Most people probably won't, and they'll just be like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Which is normally my 99% of my attitude is don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, same. Same.
I can recognize when I'm being a little too much.
Well, yeah. I can too, usually. I just don't stop. Well, I would say that, it's really hard because you want to take the break and you like want to say, but I want to say what I'm feeling and I want to let you know because I think it's so important to say what you're feeling.
And it won't be any less important if you wait.
Nah. You might be right. But my advice, I think, is to focus on fixing it and not winning it, like whatever the issue is, like figure out how to make it better. Don't be worried about who's right and who's wrong. Yeah. I just came up with that just now. That was good, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I preach to, is I want to fix it.
I know.
Yeah. But usually, I don't know if your partner does this either, but like if you're asking...
My partner?
Nah, listener. Who's listening? Your partner would be me, hopefully, if I remember correctly. Is that when you're trying to find a solution, if asking them questions and probing to understand it upsets them, I really don't know what to do, and I don't have any advice for that because I have yet to figure out that conundrum. Is if you don't understand their point of view and you ask them to explain it better, it just infuriates them more.
Whoops.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do. So
I'm working on that too. That's one of our communication barriers, I think, is I'm working on controlling my temper in ways that because you make me so mad. Like, you get under my skin in ways that no other human gets under my skin.
it's good. It's good. It means you care about me.
It does. It does. Like, nobody else that I've ever dated or anything, like, nobody has ever got on my nerves the way you do. I was always just like, whatever, I don't care.
I take pride in that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good. You should. Well, on that note, what is maybe some advice about how we deal with not like being on the same page with things? Like, how we've gotten in fights over selfies before? Because Adam was the inspiration for my episode that I did about like selfie culture and like perception of selfies on social media. And Adam feels that like 85% of the time, basically, that selfies are basically just like narcissism and attention seeking.
I would say most of the time. I wouldn't put a percentage on it.
Okay,
Like
fair.
I see both ways, and like, oh, I'm happy, I look good, I want to be proud of myself. But I guess since I am kind of cynical,
Yeah.
I do think that social media in general has created an avenue for people to have immediate feedback and I guess not necessarily gratitude, but attention.
Gratification.
I guess gratification, yeah. And so, like, within 30 minutes of doing something, you can have strangers and or friends, probably mostly strangers, so you have a lot of followers, comment and or like your photo and give you, like, a set number on, like, do they think I'm pretty?
Like, this
it's
many
validation,
people think
instant
I'm
validation. That's the word I want
Yeah.
for, validation. And I think it creates, like, a negative attitude towards someone's self-image.
Yeah,
so
I think it can.
That's why, like, I feel like a lot of, like, well, I don't think it's so much common anymore, but people, especially mothers, teaching their daughters about vanity. Don't spend so much time looking at yourself. Don't worry about how you look all the time. Like, you want to look pretty, but you don't want to, like, be self-obsessed with your image.
Right.
And so I feel like social media does promote that, obviously, with the rating system they came out with likes and whatnot. So, yeah, I do believe that it can mostly be negative.
Right. Well, and that has been something that we have, like, really struggled with communicating, like, our thoughts on the, like, our differences on that subject to each other, because I like to post a selfie sometimes, you know, and that's perfectly fine. And Adam's perfectly fine with that. But he was really concerned about my motivations behind it, right? Like, do I need validation, or am I posting it because I'm proud of myself and because, like, I like the way I look, you know? And that was really difficult for us to get through. And that was, everything comes down to communication with us. Because I was about to say that was another communication barrier. We don't know how to talk to each other, but like that was really difficult for us to get through. And I think honestly that episode that I did really helped, because I understood where you were coming from, and I think that you were kind of struggling with understanding my thoughts on it, because I guess I wasn't getting them across clearly. So when I did the episode, you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I think that for our differences, and like we even have some differences in like our understandings of religion and our thoughts on politics and stuff like that. And we try really hard to discuss them. We do. He made a face at me. We do try really hard to discuss them. There are some topics that get more heated than others. But what?
I just feel like this episode is making you sound so awful. Because it's politics in general. If we disagree, I'll just explain my point of view. And I don't think anything I say is mean and or insensitive. However, it usually ends up in one of us crying, and it's not me. So it's surprise, 50-50.
Well, no.
So Elena feels very strongly about certain things, and I feel differently, which is fine. Like
Not about everything. You don't.
I said certain things.
I know, and you don't always feel differently. You just feel like I will feel very strongly about something, and you'll say, "Well, yeah, but." Like this other thing too.
Yeah, like here's a counter argument to make you think differently, which is the whole point of your podcast.
It is, and I'm all about thinking differently, and I'm all about different perspectives, and so that's why I like for us to have conversations like that. And the thing is that most of your perspectives are, like, a lot of the time, like, your perspective is something that I've already considered, and my perspective is something you've already considered. So then when we come together and try to talk about it, I feel like we're like, yeah, I know, but this is still how I feel.
And then you offer things that I've never thought about before, which is
oh, baby.
I've told you that before. It's not a revelation.
No, you're not.
But, like, I feel like it's very important for someone to talk about something they have a very strong feeling about with someone that values something completely opposite.
I think so too.
Like, myself and one of my best friends, completely different spectrums of political values. And another buddy of mine, Mark, he'll always get upset. And it's like,
hey, Mark.
He'll say, "Hey, no politics. We can't talk about that." And I don't know if he's had negative experiences with opposing views in the past, but
I would think so.
I and myself, well, that's the same person.
And myself.
I and my friend,
Me, Adam.
we can talk about things that we differ or disagree on completely, and still like maybe learn some things and have a discussion. And not feel different about each other. Like, I love the dude to death, and he may think differently on something, and I'm not like, I'm going to kill you because you're stupid and you don't accept my point of view.
Right.
Which...
That's something that Allison and I went through, because when Allison and I were random roommates, and we were completely opposite people in so many ways when we, like, were placed together on first day of August term 2013. And at first we couldn't talk about politics at all because we were so opposite on the spectrum. But over the past 7 years, we've like come to be able to talk about a lot of stuff, and we've learned a lot from each other. And there's a lot of things that, like, you know, she used to feel very strongly one way, and now she, like, because she has had like varying perspectives in her life on it, she feels kind of a different way now, and the same for me, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that just being able to talk it out, obviously we've proven it in our friendships, but with each other, like, that is a really important thing. Yeah. Okay.
Helps if you don't cry when you're upset.
I can't help but cry sometimes, Adam. I'm just an emotion. I'm an empath. Okay, last question. And it's a good one. All right?
No.
What is one activity that you love for us to do together? And what is an activity that you love to do alone?
I like... we don't do it so much anymore since we eat differently, but when we used to cook together,
I loved that.
and we wouldn't really even follow like a recipe. We would just go...
You hate that.
Huh?
You hate when we don't follow a recipe.
No, I hate when you just start throwing stuff together and then it turns out bad, and you're like, I don't know why it didn't work.
No,
that because you didn't follow
that
it.
has happened twice.
A
ever.
lot.
No, it's happened twice.
That we know of. But when we used to cook, we just go buy something and start throwing stuff together. But it would be like well thought out. We wouldn't just be like, all right, we're gonna put this and that, and we're gonna hope it works and make something beautiful. But now we both kind of meal prep and have our own things because it's easy. But it wouldn't be bad to have like go back to doing that once in a while.
That could be our date night.
Maybe. And what do we...
Well, we also have a smaller kitchen now. Like at my townhouse, the kitchen was a lot bigger, and so it was easier to cook together, I feel. Because that's where we did a lot of our cooking together.
You just had more counter space, that's it. You just had an
Oh
island.
my gosh, no. It was, well, yeah, it was more counter space, but it was a bigger kitchen. What?
Sorry, I don't have a whole house. And what do we like to do alone? I don't know if there's anything in particular that I like to do alone, away from you.
Really?
I don't know if that's like a, wow, that's so sweet.
No,
thing,
that
but
is sweet. I don't know.
I just can't come up with one.
Okay, that was rude. One activity, something that I like to do together. I also love cooking together, like you said.
You can't say that.
I know. I'm not stealing it. But I love that we like go to the gym together. It's really motivating for me to have you there with me, and it's like comforting, I guess, too, because I don't get intimidated at the gym, okay? I don't want you to think that. Elena does not get intimidated. What I do get...
She's one of those Planet Fitness, he's too strong, get away.
No. No, I don't get intimidated, but sometimes I get, like, creepy vibes from people, or, like, I just get freaking annoyed at people.
I think you're paranoid, and you think people are watching you, and then you become self-conscious, and then you're like, I don't want to do this.
No, sometimes people do watch me. I told you the other day that old man was watching me do stuff. That was uncomfortable. He was a douchebag of an old man.
Yeah,
too.
but if you're like one of 3 females in the gym, people are gonna look at you.
I know, and I am always.
I know it's bad. It's like reality.
I know it is, and I mean the same would be if you were one of 3 dudes in the gym. Like, women would be checking you out, and that's fine. I understand that.
I wouldn't notice it.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't pay attention to it. Most of the time, you're like, that girl's checking you out. And I was like, who? And you're like 30 meters over there. And, do this crack, they can see you. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Adam doesn't understand when girls flirt with him. This girl at the gym, before COVID, they used to, like, hand their keys to the person at the gym so they could, like, scan their little card behind the computer. And... this Adam said, I hate having to hand you all my keys. Like, I hate that you have to touch my hand and my keys and stuff. And this girl was like, oh, I don't mind. And Adam was like, that's weird. It just like walked away. I was like,
well,
Adam.
Because I was like, I don't want you to touch my stuff.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. Like, I hate that too.
Like, I know it's weird because you're in the gym and you're all touching everything, but like for that one instance at the front desk, I was like, I don't want you touching my keys.
No, I agree. Like, it's way more germs than I want around me. But, like, she was flirting with him and Adam did not get it. He was just like, okay, bye.
Good for you. I'm oblivious to them.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Maybe even you, probably.
Yeah, you're oblivious to me too, and you always have been.
That's whatever.
But, okay, anyway. I love that we go to the gym together. Oh, and something I like to do alone. I actually like taking Winnie to the dog park by myself.
Yes.
Like, I do love when you come with me, and I love when you come...
Never going again.
I love when you come on walks around the neighborhood with me, especially when it's warm outside and it's like 8 o'clock and the sun's starting to go down and the sky's pretty. Like, I love...
It's not that bad with the sun's out.
I love when you come on walks with me. But I like taking Winnie to the dog park alone because I can just chill. I can take a book with me. I can play with her. I can talk to other dog moms. Like, I can just vibe and or socialize and not have to worry about you because you're my little socially awkward little nugget.
They just don't like talking to strangers. Stranger danger, Elena. They could abduct me.
Yeah, they're gonna abduct you, 200-pound man. They couldn't fit you in the back of their car.
Maybe. Probably
not. Well, okay. Now that we have done this, what is something that you would like to impart upon the listener that you've learned from our 2 years together?
I guess never stop courting your significant other. Otherwise, you will experience severe backlash. And they'll be very sad all the time.
Yep, that's true. It's me. Stressy, depressy, and lemon zesty. My number one thing, I think, is never settle. Like, never settle for just the person that's there. Make sure that...
She's going to upgrade soon, I
No,
guess.
oh my gosh.
Good luck.
Adam,
I'm the pinnacle of man.
You are the pinnacle of man. Shut up. My point is, never set... Like, when you are dating, don't settle just for like whoever is around, whatever. Like, sow your wild oats, do your thing.
Spread your seed.
Disgusting. And make sure that the person that you choose to spend your life with, like, checks all your boxes. Because Adam checks every single box for me.
And more.
And more. Like, I have been around the world. I have gone on dates around the world. And
Were they dates, though?
yes, they were. I went on a date.
Okay.
Yeah, I went on a date on Okinawa. Sorry, parents, you didn't know that, I don't think. But I didn't get kidnapped, and that's what matters. Do I recommend it? Honestly, yes. Honestly, just be careful. And don't make too many serial killer jokes, because then you will hurt a man's feelings.
Yeah, but it's also good if you're, like, larger than the average male in the country that you're in.
Well, yeah.
It's hard to snatch you up.
Yeah. I'm larger than the average American male. Taller. We've looked up the statistics.
I still don't believe it.
Anyway, my point is, sow your wild oats, but make sure that the person that you settle for, that you choose to be with, shut up. Make
That
sure
was very rude.
that the person you choose to be with checks all your boxes. Don't settle for somebody who's less than what you deserve. Because, what?
You settled for me.
I didn't settle for you.
That's what you said.
No, I've been all around the world, and then I found you, and you are perfect for me, aren't you?
I don't know.
We're like a hurricane and a thunderstorm, button heads.
Yeah, thunderstorm's less frightening, but whatever.
Well, what do you
I
want
get
to
what
be?
you're saying. What am I?
Yeah, a tornado, earthquake,
I'm a volcanic eruption with a lightning storm in the middle of it.
a hurricane, and a volcanic eruption with lightning. Okay.
Which is common.
It is common. Yeah, you're right. Is that like a static thing, do you think?
Yeah, static, and it provides a path for the ground to sky.
Interesting. Find your atom. That's what I want to tell people. Find the atom to your Elena. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope that it has given you some warm fuzzies. It has given me warm fuzzies. I have almost cried like 3 times.
And I am fine.
And Adam is fine because he has no feelings. And yeah, I hope it has given you some insight, and I hope that that you do find that Adam to your Elena, whether that is a best friend, whether it is your partner, whatever it is. I hope that our question and answers have given you some things to think about and a good perspective on how to go about finding your person.
This isn't about finding them.
It's not.
Being,
Or being with. Okay, about being with your person. You're right. And find somebody who's not afraid to correct you, too.
You for sure are not.
I for sure am not afraid to correct. So, I hope this has given you perspective on being with your person. And being with your human being. Or your doggo being. Or...
Stop.
No, this doesn't really apply to animals. Anyway, okay. Love you guys. Thank you for listening. Make sure that you follow the podcast at I've Been Thinking on Instagram. Check out the website, I'veBeenThinkingPod.com. There will be a little post about today's episode on the blog there. Follow Adam on Instagram if you want.
You don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to. It's just pictures of my face.
No content.
No content whatsoever. And make sure that you subscribe to us wherever you listen so that you're reminded of new episodes, and subscribe to us on Patreon if you want to support And we're running a special right now where every new subscriber on Patreon gets a free sticker mailed to them, a logo sticker, and like a little thank you note and stuff. I love my sticker. Don't you love it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a good sticker. It's good. Okay, guys. Again, thank you for listening, and I will talk at y'all next week.
Bye. Oh, did you stop that?
Hello, you sentient ball of stardust. My name is Casey Davis. I'm a therapist and I'm an author of the book How to Keep House While Drowning, where I talk about ways to make it a little bit easier to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, stressed, have mental health issues, physical health issues, or maybe you're just in a hard season of life. Maybe you're looking for a place that you can come and listen to some practical advice. This is a podcast for all of the self-help rejects. We're going to talk about skills for survival and self-kindness. And I'm going to leave the pop psychology at the door. I promise not to tell you to meditate or to journal. We're just going to give you some really insightful conversations with hopefully some practical advice. So I don't believe you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't want you to just try harder, and I don't believe that laziness exists. So join me over on Struggle Care, where we can find compassionate solutions that help us function a little bit better.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.